When people try to sell to other people, they make one very basic mistake. And because they make that mistake, they're never able to sell. They're never able to get people to open up and think about maybe buying what it is they're selling. They turn their audience off right from the beginning. Fortunately, there is a way around this. There is a 4-step method. Well, make sure you don't make that basic mistake with your audience. When you're selling, you want to get the audience to open up to you. And how you present yourself has everything to do with whether or not that happens. So you need to keep in mind really basic principles. And unfortunately, many times we don't do that. We don't keep in mind really basic things about selling, and so we make mistakes, get off the path. But it's simple to get back on the path. You follow the 4 basic steps of a sure sell. And the order of these steps and the way that they work may surprise you. It's not what you'd expect normally when you're selling. But it's this different thinking that's going to have different results. If you find out that you haven't been selling, try this different thinking and you're much more likely to be able to sell. It's a sure way to get that sales across, to make that sale, following through these 4 steps. So today, I want to talk about the 4 steps of the sure sell. You have to do them in order. You have to do all 4. Skip a step or try to move around things or try to switch things around, it just won't work. But if you do all 4 in the order that they're supposed to be done in, you've got a sure sell. You're going to connect with your audience, you're going to understand what you're saying, and they're going to want to buy what it is you're selling. So after today, you will know the 4 steps. You'll understand better what mistakes to avoid, and you'll be ready for the sure sell. First step in selling something is to talk about how bad it was before. Really important to talk about all the problems you had in the past. These are all past problems, not problems you're having now. We're going to come to what you do in the later steps, but most importantly at the beginning, you have to talk about how bad things were before, how bad you had it. And it has to be pretty bad. It means the whole goal here is to say, you know, things were pretty bad for me. I had a really tough time. I had some difficulties out there. That means you have to open yourself up and become vulnerable in front of your audience. Because you want to connect with your audience. You really want to make sure that you connect and interconnect with your audience. And the best way to do that is to show that you're vulnerable, you're human, you make mistakes, you've made errors, you've had problems. Now for a lot of people, this is a pretty difficult first step to do. I mean, our tendency, the way we like to do things is talk about how great we are. I'm just wonderful. I'm just fantastic. Hey, I'm great. I'm great and you can be great. We can all be great. I'm feeling great. You're feeling great. We're great. Everybody's great. That's what we want to do. As we talk about how bad things were, we just get depressed again, get down. We pull ourselves back into that bad time. But even though you might resist it, and a lot of people do, it's an important thing to do. Talk about how bad it was. Where you came from. All the problems you had back then. Now, if everything is great for you and always has been since you were born, well, frankly, it's going to be a little difficult to sell things. If everything has always been perfect for you and every single thing you've ever done, if every time you've tried something it's always worked out, well, tough to sell, because people are going to say, hey, you're wonderful, you're fantastic, you're spectacular, but you, nothing to do with me. You just got nothing to do with me. I live in a world where there's problems, where things go wrong, where things don't happen the right way, where I put on the wrong sock or the wrong shoe and things just kind of go downhill from there. That's my world. You're so wonderful and fantastic, great. Do all that great, wonderful stuff, but it doesn't connect with me. And if you don't connect right at the beginning, you lose your whole audience. You're trying to sell or trying to give a speech or whatever it is, you just lose your audience. So you have to connect. Best way to connect is let everybody know, hey, I have problems. I had some really serious problems. That's where I came from. Just like you, I got problems, I got things that go wrong. That's exactly where I came from. That's my past. Difficult times, real trouble, real challenges. If you can do that, be honest about all the problems and situations you've had, and talk about it in front of an audience, you just mastered step 1. The second step is talk about how great things are. How wonderful everything is right now. And it's important when you talk about how great things are to make sure things are really great. Not just a little better than they were before, but a lot better than they were before. There should be some sort of huge improvement from where you are back then, where you were, to where you are today. Really, really get this clear. I was problems back then, but today things are much different, much better. Things are great. That's what this whole thing is about. This whole step is about talking about how great things are. Now, it's important in this step it has to be genuine. If you're making stuff up or pretending that things are great and they're really not that great, it's not going to work. It has to be some genuine, great improvement. Somehow your life is better. Somehow things are just so much improved. Something that people can just say, wow, that's where I want to be. And that's what you want to create here. You want to get the whole audience to think, that's where I want to be. I want to be where that guy is. That's exactly my goal. That's the thing I want to achieve. And that means, of course, you have to find the right audience. If you're trying to talk about how to become a better doctor, and you're talking to a bunch of people out there who are lawyers, they're not going to be too interested in selling whatever you're going to talk about selling. So right there is be a big problem. Have to make sure everybody out there in the audience has this idea about how great it is where you are and how great it would be for them to be there. And that's it. You want to create that identity, that connection. So people think, gee, that'd be pretty nice. That'd be something really great for me. It'd be a wonderful way to be. Wonderful way for life to be. Really enjoy that. That's what this whole step is about. Creating that sense of how great things are. Has to be genuine. Can't be forced. Has to be real. So step 2 is about making it really great. Really great to the audience. Making sure you make it clear how great your life is right now. Step 3 is where you start to connect the dots. It's where you start to talk about where you came from and how you were able to move to this incredible place where you are now. I've already laid it out. Step 1, things are bad. Step 2, things are good. Step 3, connect the dots. Things were bad, and now things are much better. The thing about bad experiences is that bad experiences give you real knowledge and real credibility with your audience. If you've paid your dues, your audience will tend to think, I can trust this person. They've been there. They know what they're talking about. So in step 3, the whole part of it is to show how you have paid your dues, how things were really bad and now they're much better. Get the audience to understand that there are these processes you went through. There were things you did from where you started to where you are now. Lessons you learned, valuable lessons you learned that your audience would benefit from. There are things you learned in going from the bad to the really good. So those hard life lessons, the audience would be much better off if they understood them, if they knew them, if they could figure them out. That's the goal right here in step 3. Get your audience to understand that this is a big, painful, difficult process you went through. And as you went through this process, you did pick up some things. You did learn some stuff. And it's stuff that's not just about you. It's not just about you. It's something anybody could use, something that everyone should have, knowledge everybody should be aware of, but unfortunately, they aren't. Because they haven't been through all those problems. When you've been through all that pain, you learn a lot of stuff. So you've paid the dues. You've gone through that pain, you've had a really difficult time, and now you've gotten somewhere. You've learned things that anybody out there would be better off if they knew. If somebody's going to make that journey from where they are right now today, which is probably where you were, to where they want to be, anybody's going to make that journey the same way you did. There are certain things they need to know. Crucially, understand these things. If they don't understand these things, problems. If they do understand these things, they're going to be much, much better off. Step 3 is all about connecting those dots. From things are bad, and I took this huge journey to make everything better. And now today, I've learned a heck of a lot of things, and the things I've learned would benefit everybody here. And that's the key. Make it clear that you've got lessons you've learned the hard way that would benefit everyone. Now we come to the 4th and final part. Now you set the stage. You talked about the past, how bad things were. Really, really bad. You talked about the present, how wonderful everything is. How really great everything is. You talked about the journey you've made from that very difficult past all the way to get into this wonderful present. Now you're ready to give your audience that final part. Now you're ready to tell them there's a method you used to get from where you were to where you are. It's a simple method. it's a method that they will learn so much from. Because they're just like you used to be when you had all those problems. And you're willing to give them that method. For a small price. For a small price, you're willing to give your audience the way to avoid all the problems you went to get to where you are today. For a small price, you're willing to let the audience understand how to take the easy way. Success, fame, love, whatever it is you're selling. For that small price, your audience will get the benefits of your years and years of hard-won experience. And that's the fourth step. In the fourth step, the final step, you finally mention you do have something to sell. And it's really important that until you get to that fourth step, don't even talk about selling things. Don't even mention it. Don't even bring it up. The early stage, all you want people to know is things were bad, got better, and you've really worked hard to make them better. That's what you want to get in people's head, vividly. Once they have that in their head, then they're more open. They're more open to different ideas. More open to buying things because they see the value in it. Because they're not just paying you for some ideas you have. They're paying you for a way to avoid all the problems and difficulties, the issues, and all that stuff that you had to put up with. They're paying you for the benefit of all the experience you had to get to where you are. They're paying you for all the things that you'd like to have had all the way through that time when you were struggling to get where you are. That's what they're paying you for. That's what it's all about. So, you get to that fourth step, then and only then do you begin selling. Then and only then do you begin saying, hey, this is where we are. Then and only then you say, you want to be where I am today. You can make it happen. Won't cost you that much. And you'll learn a lot of really valuable things to make sure that you avoid all that stuff I had to do to get to where I am today. So if you want to sell, you have to get people to want to buy. And to make that happen, don't go out there and say, do you want to buy? Because you know the answer is going to be short, definite, and in one word. No. So don't even bother trying to go out there asking people, do you want to buy? First, you have to set up the situation. Most important thing is about how difficult things used to be. Came from a difficult time. You had problems. Real issues. Have to be serious issues. Can't just be things you just make up. There is a definite problem you had somewhere. Make it real, make it deep. And things right now are much better. Talk about how great things are, how wonderful things are. How you had a tremendous life change from where you were to where you are. Then, talk about all the things you learned along the way. That you learned a lot of stuff from getting from there all the way to here. And only then, after you've set all that up, people understand things are bad, things are now great, huge process of development to get to here. Only then you mention you can help people get from here to there, and you can help them do it without having to go all through that pain and suffering that you went through. It'll cost a little bit, but it'll be definitely worth their time, definitely worth their money, because they'll avoid all that difficulty and problems. What you really want to happen is you want to have the audience identify with you and say, yeah, I understand. I get it. He was just like I am right now. And now, everything is much better. I'm where he was. If I just knew how to get along that path to be where he is, that would be wonderful. It would be fantastic. And once you get that idea in the audience's head that you're just like them, that you used to be just like them, and now things are great, and you're their best friend. You're going to help them make all their dreams come true and become great as they want to be. Once you get that in your audience's head, then you've got the sure sell.